On this episode of ResiWeek, CEDIA's Propel program, ADT and Google, and Josh.ai's new lighting control spec. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 249. Propel yourself.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by
Vanco International. Learn the technology behind the award-winning EVOIP, AV over IP system. Become EVOIP certified today.
And by
Blackwire Designs, the go-to distributor for the CI industry with an extensive product lineup backed by unmatched sales and system support.
Welcome to this episode of ResiWeek, your weekly roundup of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matt D. Scott for AVNation.tv, and this week, pleased to be joined by two of my best friends in the industry. First, we have Mr. Giles Sutton, the SVP of Industry Engagement for CEDIA. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being here. Then we have Mr. Jason Knott, the Chief Content Officer at CE Pro. How are you, Jason?
I'm great, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Thank you both for being here. Gentlemen, I want to kick this off with a story that comes to us from Residential Systems. CEDIA has a brand new program called Propel. It is an affinity program designed to accelerate economic growth and business opportunity. So we're gonna jump into a couple things on this. One, I think this is a really awesome program, and read through this article on Resi Systems about Propel. Essentially what it's going to do is, if you are a CD member, and Giles, correct me if I butcher any of this, but essentially if you're a CD member, you can get access to some products through Amazon, as well as a couple other manufacturers, where you get a discount. You have an opportunity to get into their dealer things by being a CEDIA member. It's an affinity program. CEDIA is not a distributor and all this other fun stuff. Giles, let me start with you on this. It's a really cool program. It is not a cookie cutter affinity, hey, shop here, save 20%. Like every other membership that almost all of us have in your wallets, whether it's a political party, whether it's CAA or AAA or whatever they call that in the UK. You get savings with those. This is a slightly different program, but it's still just an affinity program. Can you explain to people, first of all, what an affinity program is for anybody who doesn't understand what that is? But then dig into why this is different and really how this is going to help grow business.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I think so. Affinity programs are not uncommon in nonprofits, in member associations, and CEDIA have them in the past as well. I mean, they're typically where the association looks for special kind of exclusive offers or discounts on products to really entice members to join the association or add more value to membership. So the sort of typical affinity program will be, things like mobile phone discounts and credit cards and things like that. And when we were looking at what CEDIA could do, we really felt that we could actually solve some industry problems at the same time as offering some special offers to our members. And really with Propel, we wanted to look at ways in which we can actually bring new brands into the space from the world of IoT, brands that may not necessarily have the pro channel on their radar, who may just have a complete go-to-consumer model, and really show them the value of using a pro, of working with a CEDIA member, and this really being a launch pad for new brands into the space, new and emerging brands. So yeah, we're excited with the brands that we have. We've started with Amazon Ring, Immersive Gym, and also Bright. All of them have completely different go-to-market models and work with integrators in different ways. With Amazon and Ring, it's through Amazon Business. With Bright, it's still to a consumer product. And then with Immersive Gym, it's more of a consultative sale with the integrator and design process. So it's kind of addresses a lot of different models. And we thought with this program, there are going to be different models, because it's really us showing the value of our channel to brands that weren't necessarily either considering the channel as an option, or B, have maybe a new focus on the brand, who want to build more awareness with the Pro channel.
Very good. Jason, one of the things that has come up, if you followed any of this online, has been the behemoth that is Amazon. And there are people that love Amazon. There are people that hate Amazon. There are, dare I say, integrators that will bemoan Amazon online all day long while ordering half of their products from Amazon. What does it mean to the channel to have a partnership with Amazon?
Yeah, I think the big picture that I look at from this is, from the positive side, Amazon's back and they're looking at this channel again. We all remember a few years ago when they had a big booth at CEDIA Expo, and then they felt, for one reason or another, that either CEDIA membership or CEDIA the association didn't support their efforts in the industry. They didn't come back to the show. It's funny, as I was thinking about being on the call today, knowing we were going to talk about this, that I kind of really wish that Julie Jacobson was here, because for years, Julie wrote about the IoT space, the Amazons, the Googles, the Sonoses of the world, and took a lot of flack. I mean, her back was pelted by integrators in the industry. Why are you writing about these products? Why are you talking about these products that are the enemy, quote unquote? And her tactic, and again, it was CE Pros, and we 100% backed exactly what she was doing, was, you guys need to know about these things. And whether you're going to, switch somebody to something else maybe, or you are going to be a reseller for that product, or you're going to install that product, you still need to know what's going on about it. And so this is kind of a full circle situation that Amazon is actually, not saying, we want to get to your customers, Mr. Integrator. They're saying, we want to get to your customers through you again. So I think that's the bigger picture here. And, whether this is a sleeping with the enemy and where distributors are upset, or buying groups are upset, or whomever are upset, I'm going to look at that bigger picture from a positive standpoint, that Amazon's back and addressing the channel.
So I'm kind of glad that you brought up the potential of people to be unhappy about this, because I saw this come down, and I took the approach that you took, Jason. I was excited to see it. I was excited to see that Amazon is wanting to work with us. It reminds me of, the reason that so many integrators sell Sonos. Whether they love or hate Sonos, they sell Sonos because Sonos has a brand that they can slap on their truck. And when they walk in and talk to a client about, do you want multi-room audio? They go, you mean like that Sonos stuff? And they go, yes. And then they sell something and they make money. It again, love them or hate them, it can get you in the door and help you sell something. The thing I see with Ring and Amazon is, whether it directly fits your business model or not, being in a partnership with a major brand is good. It helps people. It helps your business. It leads you with some credibility. Can one of you, and I'm assuming this will be Giles, but can either one of you talk to kind of the frustrations that people see? Is the frustration stemming out of integrators being locked in this mindset of how we do business and how we go to market that has been somewhat unchanged since, the industry, quote unquote, started 30, 40 years ago? Is that all this is that we're not used to newfangled things, or we're concerned that all of a sudden this is going to, we're going to lose our shirt by partnering with Amazon or any other brand out there?
I'll let you take that, Giles, and then I can chime in.
No, I was going to say, I think there's probably a whole mix of feelings about it, if I'm honest. I think there's probably some feelings from how, some past programs that CEDIA's had with Amazon, some conflicts with like their home services program that they had, which has now been phased out, thankfully. So there isn't really any competition that I can see with an integrator's activity. But yeah, I think there's sometimes perhaps a perception that this is going down market, maybe that as well. And actually, I think we all know that actually, as you said, Matt, rightly or wrongly, this is a product that is very well known and is often the first step that a consumer will take to actually building a smart home. They'll go, like everyone will go and buy, an Echo, or will maybe have a Ring doorbell. And actually, these are the products that consumers are using. And we looked at, for example, the CE Pro 100, the recent CE Pro 100 research and the CEDIA size and scope. And right up there, is Ring and Amazon as being the #1 voice product and also security products. So it's, these are products that are going into homes that integrators are working on for sure. I just think there is some perhaps resistance to this very large company, but we've had great success. For example, with Google, we're talking to Google a lot as well. On the same time, that Google have been until COVID hit, Google were going to deliver the keynote at every single one of our Tech Summit events. And we're actually, I talk to Google every other week now. And actually, it's a growing trend I see of big tech really starting to embrace the pro channel. And they've got different strategies as to how they're going to do that. But ultimately, I think when we look at Amazon and Ring products, these are products that can be specified amongst a much bigger mix of products that integrators work with. It's not uncommon to see $5 million homes that have Ring doorbells on them and have an Alexa in it, but they may have a very high specification AV system, high quality hi-fi, or this. I think I don't see this as low end or high end anymore. I see this as just about a selection of brands that integrators have at their disposal. I don't know what you think, Jason.
I think you hit it right on the nail there. I think that people always look at these large companies with some sort of nefarious motive that they might have. And I can remember when Amazon did the home services, talking to them specifically, and they said, it's all about getting people to buy stuff from us. That's what we really are all about, and it really wasn't about making money on the installation or, those things where the integrators make money. So, we know Amazon and Google and Microsoft, these guys are very smart people, and I'm sure they have an end game. But again, I'm not putting on rose-colored glasses, but I'm looking at it from that 30,000-foot view that they're not bypassing the channel, they're using the channel.
I'd also say, I think, when you look at the more sort of traditional brands that have been in the channel, like control system brands, I think we'll all remember when Alexa, when Amazon Echo came out, that actually it was a race from these brands to have that integration. Everyone wanted that integration because people saw the importance of having that. And I think that's the other thing, is that when you're looking at Amazon and Ring, they're also creating a lot of integrations across the market now. With Ring, for example, they have their pro-only product as well. It's not just direct to consumer. They have a whole pro product line as well, and just being careful with trying to create integrations across the industry. So they definitely do have a different approach now. There's people that we know that have been, they're employing people from other CI companies now to be the face of them. And I think that's just how it's changing. They realize that this industry is about people. It's about creating all of these different alliances and having a face.
Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit AVNation.tv. That's AVNation.tv.